It's the Wedding Dance Crochet Along square. Let's make this together. Welcome to Good Knit Kisses. We're all about helping you stitch your love and love your stitches. Today's video is part 2 of 3, the Wedding Dance Crocheted Square. It's a 12-inch square, and we're going to be working on this border. We'll be working on the first 3 rounds of the border. For part 2, you're going to need contrast A and B. Click down below for a link to the pattern of the square. All right, so for part 2, we're going to be working on the first 3 rounds of our border, and the first round especially is where we get a handle on what it's going to look like around the perimeter here so that we establish a nice good border. So that first round is pretty critical, so we're going to spend time really looking at that. You want to grab contrast A, and we're going to go along this top edge that we finished with. Go ahead and put a slip knot in. We're going to go into what I think the best one to start with is not this end stitch here, not the first one, because we're going to need that for the corner. Go ahead and skip into the third one. It's just what I'm doing here, so if you want to follow that, you can go in further if you want. And we just want to pull right on through and connect that next color. So if you need help with that, let's go ahead and do our hook again. We're going to go right into the third stitch. That's 1, 2, 3. And we're going to come back here and yarn over, and we're going to pull it right on through that first stitch and through the color on the slip knot here. And that's how we add in our color. So you're going to be doing this on all the other rounds. So to start round 1 with contrast A, we've started and we want to chain 2. So 1 and 2. And then we're just going to single crochet in the top of all of these single crochets along here. So you're already in this stitch here. So we're going to go here and single crochet all the way across. Okay. And in the end, you will end up having an even number of stitches across on all 4 sides. So go ahead and pause your video, and I'll meet you back up at the end of this row to turn and make a corner. See you in a moment. All right, so we're down to the end. We've got one more single crochet. Go ahead and do that one more time, single crochet, and then we'll make a corner by making 2 chains and another single crochet. So chain 1, 2, and then single crochet into that same space there, that same stitch. Okay, and it makes a tiny little corner here, and it'll get more pronounced as we make more border rounds. Okay, so now we're turning. We're going to go along down this edge. So if you notice, you've got some pronounced holes in the side where you've got multiple chains here, so it makes a nice big chain space. We want to put 2 stitches or 2 single crochets in those holes there, those chain spaces, and then the side of these stitches here, you've got like a side of a single crochet, and then you've got another one here. You want to put in a single crochet here. So we're going to put 2 stitches in the side stitches and 2 in these big spaces. So let's go ahead and do that now. So 2 single crochet, 1, and there's a second one. All right, and then now we're just going to kind of pick a spot here and make a single crochet, and then go in this next space or next stitch here and single crochet. And then now we have another space here. So we're going to put 2 in that area. And now you see we've got 4 stitches along this space and these 2 stitches and then 2 stitches here. And if we do 2 more, we're just basically evening out our stitches. So 1, 2, and you just continue to repeat that all the way down the line until you get to the end. And then you have your foundation row with a single crochet, and that will be your corner stitch. So you'll finish it out. You'll have this nice big space here, and then you'll just kind of pop 2 stitches in this very end space. So I'll meet you down here to start the next corner. Pause your video, and I'll see you in a moment. See you soon. Okay, so I'm at the end here, and I had one corner stitch and then an even number of stitches along here. And then when I go right into this foundation chain here, I am finishing it out, making an even number of stitches alongside here, which should be 30, which is the same as what you had for this edge here. Okay, so then you're just going to make your corner by chaining 2, and then go into that same stitch and make your single crochet. And then you just continue alongside that edge, just as you did with this first one. Make a corner and then do the other side over here opposite. So where you have 2 stitches and side stitches, and then the spacing, you'll have 2 stitches there. So an even number, and pause your video and meet me back up. We'll be finishing out this last corner. See you then. All right, so I am on my last corner of round 1. So I'm just going to go into this first crochet stitch here. This is a single crochet at the on this edge, and we're just going to single crochet, and I'm calling that the corner stitch. So single crochet once, and then chain twice. So 1 and 2, and then go into that same single crochet and single crochet once. Okay, and then I've got 1 single crochet stitch left. We're going to go ahead and do that again on top of that stitch. So single crochet, and now we're just going to go right into this stitch here, and this is our original chain, our beginning, and we're going to go right in and slip that stitch to join. And then we want to begin round 2. In round 2, we're going to chain 2. So just chain 1, 2. And then I want you to take, if you can, a stitch marker, grab a stitch marker, and just go ahead and slip it on that first chain there. And this is just used to show where we began our round, because when we come back here, it might be a little bit hard to see. And it's just a nice little thing if you've got 2 colors, 2 rounds that are the same color and they're kind of small like that, just when you're first beginning. So anyway, that marks the beginning of your round. You don't have to do this for all the other rounds, but it's really nice for this one. Okay, so to begin, we chain 2. We're going to skip the next single crochet, and we're going to single crochet in the stitch after that. So this first stitch here we're skipping because that represents our single crochet. And so we're going to go into this next one. So this is going to be right here, and single crochet, and then chain 1, and then we're going to skip this next stitch, single crochet, and chain 1, and then skip the next stitch, single crochet, and chain 1. So you're going to go ahead and continue all the way down to here, and when you get to the end, you should have 2 stitches left, and we'll be skipping 1 and then working into that last stitch. If you find that you don't have 2 left after you do this last one here, and you may have 3 or a different number, it may be because you might need to scoot over 1 more stitch this way or this way. Okay, so go ahead and continue on, pause your video, and we'll meet at that corner, and you'll know you're in the right frame of mind, you're in the right place, and we'll work that first corner together. See you soon. Okay, so we've got our last 2 stitches before the corner, so we're going to go into the last stitch because we've skipped 1, so you should have 1 chain, go into this last stitch here, single crochet, and chain 1. Okay, so this corner here is different than the previous round in that we're just going to add 1 extra chain. So just go ahead and single crochet once, and then chain twice, 1, 2, single crochet again in that same chain space, and then chain 1. Okay, and then you'll just continue by skipping that first stitch there, okay, and then go into that next one and single crochet and chain 1, and just continue all the way around. Pause your video and I'll meet you back up to finish this round. See you soon. All right, coming to the end of this round, we're going to single crochet and chain, 1 more single crochet, and that's in the corner. And then I've got 1 more chain to do to finish that corner. And then we'll make sure and skip this next single crochet and go into this one here. And it looks like I am back to the stitch marker, because you can see how it's kind of hard to tell like where the beginning of our round started, just due to the colors being so close. They're the same color. Anyway, so I would normally, I'm stitched into this one and normally be skipping this one and then going into the very next one. So this stitch marker is showing me where I need to go. So I can just put that stitch marker right through. Go ahead and, I mean, I go through the chain, not the stitch marker. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then we'll just yarn over and pull on through and then slip that right through. Okay, so we're just slipping that stitch there, and then we go ahead and cut our yarn. And then we're going to go ahead and pull this on through, and we are ready to begin our next round. Go ahead and you can start weaving your tails every round when you complete the color with your needle into each individual stitch that's the same color. And I'll go ahead and do that here, but then when I start tying on the next several rounds, I'm just going to leave the yarns laying around and you can see what that looks like, but you're not going to see me weave in the tails of every round. So I'll just get this one out of here for now. And anyway, I just recommend a nice sharp bent tapestry needle for that, and I talk about that at the end of all the rounds. And I suggest just leaving your tails to the very, very end, and just spend a time weaving them all together when you're with your friends. All right, so we're going to attach on the next color and begin with this color, color B, contrast B. All right, so we're ready for round 3, and we're working with contrast B. We're going to join in a chain space. So I'm just going to kind of come over a couple from the corner here. There's 1 and then 2 here, and we're going to place a slip knot on our hook and put it on your hook here. Let's see. I'm going to go right in to this space here and slip to join. So we're just going to yarn over, pull that through, and then pull it right on through our slip stitch or slip knot. Okay, and now we want to have 2 double crochets in each chain along here, and then we'll be putting a space in between. So if we chain up 3, that will count as our first double crochet. So we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, and that gets us started. And then we're going to yarn over and insert our hook into that same chain space and pull up a stitch and yarn over and pull through 2 and yarn over and pull through 2. And that counts as 2 double crochets. And now we need to chain 1, and we can skip this next single crochet here, and we're just going to go into the chain space that's right there. So you see that little chain space, and then here's the V-stitch from your single crochet. So yarn over, insert into that space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, again, yarn over, insert into that same chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, and that jumps us over that next stitch. We'll do it again, yarn over, insert in that next chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, again, double crochet, yarn over, insert into that space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then chain 1. So that's it, 2 double crochets plus a chain. Do it in each chain space across. Pause your video, meet me back up when you get to this corner over here. See you in a moment. Okay, so I've made it down to the end of where my first corner is, and don't forget about that last little chain space there. And then the corner chain space, we're going to do 2 double crochets as well. So make sure you chain one more time and make 2 double crochets here. So 1 and I'm on 2. And then normally we chain 1, and we're just going to chain 1 more time to make that corner, and then make 2 more double crochets in that same space. So yarn over, insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, again, yarn over, insert into that stitch or in that space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And at the end of that corner, we want to chain 1 more time. And then now you can move on to the next space. And we're just going to do what we did before and just do 2 more double crochets and chain 1. All right, so continue that along. You're going to repeat that on all of the corners. Pause, we'll meet you back up at this last corner and joining. All right, we'll see you in a moment. All right, we're coming down to the very last corner here. Going to double crochet twice. Chain 2. And do that again, 2 double crochets. Okay, and then chain 1. And then we've got one last here where I started. I've got one more chain space here, so we're going to double crochet twice here. And then don't forget that last chain 1. You'll need that. Okay, so chain 1, so I've got 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then I'm just going to go in the top of this, this stitch right here. I've got my chains, and at the top of that, it represents the top of my double crochet, and we're just going to slip stitch to join that. And then you could just cut your yarn and then pull that on through and weave that in later. And that wraps up part 2. Join me for the next video of part 3 to finish out the remaining border here. Thanks for joining us today, where we help you stitch your love and love your stitches. See you again soon.